Yeah, I think the biggest lesson here may be don't necessarily believe all hearsay and give everyone the benefit of the doubt, because once you stop doing that, that could be the blind spot in your game. And that's why you're sitting out here.
Yes, not just game, in real life as well. So yeah, it's a huge lesson.
It got very personal and you made a lot of targeted attacks. And how do you respond to that? And to the fans who go, we didn't like this behavior?
Yeah, the line of personal and game was definitely blurred for me. Unfortunately, I thought I could remove that. But what I did, unfortunately, in my head justified the personal became game to me because these were people I was aligned with who were affected by it.
Welcome to the Secret Alliance podcast, where we talk about the game of Big Brother with the people who play it. I'm Jason from Big Brother 3. We've got with us Hannah from season 23, and of course, the Cookout fame, and the latest Big Brother evictee, Daniel. How are you feeling after last night?
I'm happy to be outside the house. I'm learning a lot this morning, definitely letting it all settle in so I could grow from it and move forward in the best way possible. But ultimately, proud to have been a part of Big Brother. The success was walking in, the failure was my game, and just ready to move forward and learn from it all.
Hi, Daniel. It's nice to meet you. I'm Hannah. So my first question is mental health, its importance, and its effects have been a hot topic of conversation this season, particularly surrounding the premature exit of one of this season's house guests. In your blow up with Taylor, you effectively blamed her for Paloma experiencing a mental break, even though you aren't a licensed mental health specialist. Do you still stand by this? And even if you don't anymore, why at the time did you feel that it was appropriate to dump the weight of that kind of accusation onto one person?
After speaking with Taylor, once Turner kept her in the house, I considered it a blessing, so I got at least try to smooth things over before anything happens outside that or before we leave the house. But in that moment, Taylor had mentioned that she's the one that told some house guests that she feels that she was the reason why Paloma spiraled. So that was led to me through other house guests, and Taylor admitted to me that she's the one that said it. I don't believe now, knowing the things that I know, I don't believe she had any part of that, especially that if the Paloma thing was a lie, is what I'm hearing. Is unfortunate that I believed these lies, especially first week, not knowing anyone. Putting my loyalty into people and believing it was definitely my downfall, and added to all of that for sure.
Yeah, I think the biggest lesson here may be don't necessarily believe all hearsay and give everyone the benefit of the doubt, because once you stop doing that, that could be the blind spot in your game. And that's why you're sitting out here.
Yes, not just game, in real life as well. So yeah, it's a huge lesson.
For sure. And then my second question is, at multiple points, and this is a loaded question, so let me know if you want me to repeat anything. At multiple points throughout the season, we saw your disdain for Taylor unfold. One night sitting in the HOH room, you claimed that Taylor did not deserve to live normal. You also said that you don't care if America thinks you're at fault here, because any house guest will express how pardon my language, of a person Taylor is. Finally, you and Nicole somehow arrived at the conclusion that Taylor was the real bully in the house. With that being said, can you enlighten me with a specific example of how Taylor bullied you and others in the house? Because what I saw as a feeder, an avid live feeder this season, was a woman who never raised her voice, never acted impulsively or maliciously, and tried her best to be empathetic even when she was actively being bullied, ostracized, and microaggressively labeled. So this is your opportunity to give us some insight into what you were thinking and allow you to explain to those like myself who may be confused about some of your comments by giving us a specific example of how Taylor bullied you.
Yeah, initially I wanted to align with her the first few days until the Paloma lie came out. After that, the energy, even prior when I wanted to align with her, her energy in the house was very negative to a lot of people, and I at least was fed that. And so maybe that's what made me start to feel that, when people tell you it, you start believing it. As far as like not living normally, I would never, I'm referring to the Big Brother house. That does not justify or validate that, but I'm not talking about the real world or real life, but even in the house, I was talking as far as feeling the safety of staying in the house and not going home. Again, I can't wait. I look forward to watching all these back and correcting all of this and learning from it and talking to her specifically. The person, I think a lot of house guests did not, she really, is what I've been told from the house is they rubbed her the wrong way, or she rubbed them the wrong way, except for Nicole was the only one vouching for her. in the first week or two. And this is what I'm being told this whole time. And when you don't know these people, unfortunately, I believed it, and that sucks. And that's my downfall. And I think leaving the house, reviewing it is my biggest priority. And my number one will be speaking to Taylor and then approaching the outside world to express my apologies to anyone affected by it. I know you had a few more points. If you want to say them again, I'll touch base on them.
Yeah, no, I think you pretty much hit all of my points.
Okay.
Again, hearsay. You can't believe everything that you hear, especially when there's no valid basis to judge someone's character. At the end of the day, you only knew her for less than 35 days. So I personally don't feel like that's enough time to make a judgment as to whether someone's a good person or not, even if it's just in the context of the game.
Yeah, and I think, sorry to touch one more. When I'd already felt like she's no longer my target, I personally was I had to try to remove all that because it didn't matter on the game level. And we were in the tiki room and Taylor told me she purposely came in with a character of being a bad person or some version of that. That's not the verbatim. But what she said was she's a good person in the real world. And she came in here as the opposite. And so that was mind blowing to me because I feel like when she was having a glass of wine and she was normal Taylor, I got along with her so well. And I was like, I just wish this was it. And if she's playing a character, it was unfortunate, at least for me, because I wish I could have gotten to know her better on that level, which I hope is still available in October on.
And can you talk to us a little bit about, though, Daniel, and this was something that we talked to Nicole with last week, and we're having this, you're part of the Big Brother family now, we're having the family talk. You didn't, as fans watch this, they felt like you didn't just play the game and say, I'm going to target her as a player. It always kept getting personal, and you would ostracize her. You're saying, I'm going to lock the HOH room and keep her out. Those things really, did not look like just somebody, playing the game and going to target somebody. It got very personal, and you made a lot of targeted attacks. And how do you respond to that? And to the fans who go, we didn't like this behavior.
Yeah, the line of personal and game was definitely blurred for me. Unfortunately, I thought I could remove that. But what I did, unfortunately, in my head justify the personal became game to me because these were people I was aligned with who were affected by it. Whether they lied to me or not, I believed them. And the fact that the entire house but Nicole were affected negatively by Taylor, that's when I felt like it became game. Unfortunately, that's where emotion also took over. So that blurred line ruined my game. It ruined any connection I could have with Taylor moving forward. And obviously the way it's been perceived and received. So my goal from here on out is strictly priority is talking to Taylor once she's out and talking to the house guests and then moving forward and hopefully posting my video on social media and expressing my apologies to her and her family, my family, and anyone affected by it.
So you are saying that you're sorry for the way that you treated Taylor?
100%, especially now knowing what I know, and that's me not even watching it. I'm most thankful I didn't make jury so I could get out now and start the process now as far as healing and growing and learning and watching it all back, watching every clip possible from the feeds, but also definitely the show. But yeah, 100% apology, but I want to make sure I can specify what I am apologizing for instead of just a blatant statement.
Okay. And did you plan to come into this game and play it with so much emotion?
Absolutely not. I am an emotional person. I am a loyal family member and friend in the real world. But I thought I could remove that going into the house. But, you give it 3 days and your soul, you can't remove that from your soul. And unfortunately, if my loyalty and trust was in people that were lying to me, I had, the beauty and the tragedy of this game is you have to rely on people. And unfortunately for me in this season, it did not work out. And it actually was the detriment and demise of my game.
Yeah. And I think, Hannah, you had a game question here. I know we're about to wrap it up with you. They're going to give us the wrap very soon, Daniel.
It's a super quick question just because I'm obsessed with the game. So I want to ask you a game related question. You seem to have a pretty good read on the leftovers. You clocked all 7 of them working together. When did you piece that the 7 of them were in fact in an alliance? And who do you think will be the person that eventually breaks it up?
Nicole and I pieced it together. Actually, Nicole, myself, and Terrence are very aligned, not only friendship, but also game. And once we noticed, it was so obvious that all 6, because Kyle stayed downstairs, were going to the HOH nightly at 4 a.m. or whatever. So it was very easy. If you're a fan of the show, you can see it right in front of your eyes. So once Turner was HOH that week, sometime we learned going on. As far as who's going to break it up, I think because Michael's such a strong and smart player, if he's smart, he'll be the first to do it because they're going to go after him if they're smart. But I don't know. Turner's kind of a wild card, so he might be the one to just throw it out there and make stuff happen.
And who are you rooting for? Who would you like to see take this game, Daniel?
Well, there's 2 answers. I think who are going to be final 3 is Monty, Michael, Taylor. Who I am rooting for is Terrence, Jasmine, and Joseph.
All right. Well, you're now part of this.
Like, what?
You're part of this family. We'll see. We will see it play out as we get closer and closer in the weeks ahead to finale night. It's so much has happened just since you walked out of that house. You don't even know.
I'm learning very little, but I heard that Taylor's HOH, and I'm ready for the change up. I know. As a fan, I freaked the out. I was like, let's go.
The leftovers, they flipped this house. It's been good stuff. All right, Daniel, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to further talking to you in the weeks and months ahead. Have a good one.
Thank you guys so much for this.
As you readjust, coming out of this bubble. It's weird stuff. Bye, Daniel.
It's wild. Thank you, guys.
Take care. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Of course. Thank you.
Check out past seasons of The Secret Alliance. We have interviews with so many Big Brother legends on this channel. Those videos are just waiting for you.